Alright, so real quick, I want to talk about game optimization. Now, y'all might be wondering what brought this on. And well, it's cause of Spider-Man 2. Like, the number of issues that I ran into while playing the game was actually unbelievable. Now, I don't think y'all will understand how crazy my experience with playing that game on PC was like for me. It low-key had me feeling like Peter when he had the symbiote suit on. But before I talk about it, I want to talk about the hoops I jumped through just to get to playing the game. And y'all are probably not gonna believe this, but I actually managed to avoid all spoilers when it came to Spider-Man 2. And I don't have a PS5, which is why I decided to wait for the game to get ported over to PC. And when it finally came out, I opened up Steam and bought it immediately. But little did I know, I was about to experience the worst case of bugs and glitches that I've ever seen in a video game. And this isn't an exaggeration either, I'd quite literally never witnessed this firsthand. Firstly, were the visual glitches. So, things like artifacting and whatever the principal is doing over here. But trust me when I say this, I am not the type of person to complain about small things like that. It's what happened next that mainly caused me to make this video. Which leads me to my second point. The shutdowns. After some time passes, my whole ass PC would just shut down completely in result of a crash. Now, I'll admit, the first time I saw this, I wasn't too concerned. I mean, I just assumed it was some kind of power outage of sorts. But then again, it was just my PC that shut down. My monitor was still on along with everything else that was plugged in. So it continued to happen over and over and over, until I just stopped playing and searched up the issue. And I apparently wasn't the only one. Now, at first I thought it was just my power supply, cause I'd recently just upgraded my specs and thought, maybe my 550 watt power supply isn't keeping up anymore. So I bought a new one, but that didn't work either. And then next I read online. AMD actually had a bug that couldn't get you to play the game if Image Inspector was on. But the worst part about that was I never used any of the features that Adrenaline offered me. So that shit was pretty much off to begin with anyways. I ended up having to undervolt my GPU. And if you don't know what that means, it's basically the opposite of overclocking. Not to get technical, of course. Which honestly is still wild to me, because why do I gotta bring down my GPU's default settings just to somewhat run one game? It's crazy. But yeah, this fixed the shutdown problems, but not my game crashing issues. And when it wasn't crashing, it was still somewhat lagging and had weird visual glitches like the lighting I just mentioned. It honestly blows my mind how I managed to finish that game, because whenever a crash or a shutdown would happen, it would just break my immersion. Be it whilst I was traversing around the city or during an actual cutscene. Now that I think about it, I low-key did the most for this one single game, but honestly I'm not mad about it, cause at the end of the day, Spider-Man's really one of the only superheroes that I mess with in Marvel. For those curious about my specs, here they are, and I'm at least 70% sure that I'm supposed to be running the game fine, but I don't know anymore, cause it's like the requirements in Steam don't even mean anything anymore. It just seems like companies in the game industry are getting worse and worse at optimization. Hell, even Nvidia and AMD are struggling now. Companies have seemed to adjust to the fact that they can release an unfinished product and then release patches as an update later on. And now, I know there's a lot of different factors that play into this, like influence from stakeholders and stricter deadlines. But I'm like, damn, at least give these devs some time to cook, dog. I used to believe that it wasn't a big issue, cause I'm legit the kind of person that doesn't let shit like that bother me. But yeah, overall I enjoyed the game. And for those waiting for me to call it ass, sorry but you got clickbaited. I actually think it was a pretty good game. I do however think the first game had a better story, which is probably a hot take, but hey, that's just my opinion. Oh yeah, and it also had DLC too. Still to this day, I don't know why Insomniacs decided to scrap DLC for Spider-Man 2, but hey, in terms of everything else from the game in general, I think it exceeds the other Insomniac Spider-Man games. But yeah, this was basically just a rant about my experience playing the game, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Wait, it happened again? With GTA? If you guys enjoyed the video or relate to it, be sure to leave a like. That would soothe my soul from the pain I felt from playing Spider-Man. Subscribe too, that would be greatly appreciated. But with that being said, I'm praying for Ubisoft's downfall in this game. And not because I think it's woke or anything like that, but they ruined Watch Dogs and maybe the Far Cry series as well. Far Cry 3 is the best one, by the way. And they're also culprits for poor optimization for their own games. But yeah, other than that, I'm going back to bed. They